I've seen her a few times actually playing at Indian Wells when I've been out there.
I think her big claim to fame is her movie appearances. She was Emma Stone's body double as Billie Jean King in the 2017 film Battle of the Sexes. She also had a separate part as a tennis player in that movie and also appeared in the 2021 film King Richard. So, a woman of many talents. Saw Kaitlyn play yesterday, and I think she's got some game. She showed some definite talent in singles, but I also thought she had some strokes that'll help her translate to doubles. I think she hopefully is going full-time pickleball now, and I think if she does, I think she's got the ability to transition to being a good pickleball doubles player. So often singles players struggle. Tennis players come over and they do pretty well at singles, but they struggle to master doubles. I think Kaitlyn's got some real potential. Interested to see here how she does here against Jansen.
Very nice. The beauty of her, especially as a doubles tennis player, that comfort level at the net with the volleys. You know, right now on the women's side, we see a lot of the singles players that play still like to play a baseline, almost tennis style, just at that baseline. But really, the importance is the earlier you can get into that net, put pressure on your opponent.
Christian there, I think, touched her paddle against the back fence. It is a little tight between the baseline and the back fence here on the south side where she is. Jansen serving at 1-2 here in game one. And that was a beautiful serve there, a good hop deep in the corner. Christian unable to handle it. Tied at 2-2.
Kaitlyn, just a nice return and moving in, getting to that net.
Per your earlier point, Dave, there was a couple of good solid volleys there from Christian. I think you're absolutely right where you know, tennis has gone so much to being a baseline game that when these players come over from tennis, they can somewhat struggle with volleys. Obviously pickleball much more of a net oriented game than tennis. Jansen called that one out, 3-2. I think we see that maybe with Jack Sock. You know, Jack being a double specialist from tennis, comes over to pickleball. He's not at this tournament, but we hope to see him at the Mesa Open later this month.
Very, very aggressive return there.
Christian serving at 2-3.
Just a little too much on that. The attempt was to hit the third shot drop, just got underneath it a little bit, ball floated high, allowed Lea for an easy volley put away.
3-2 Jansen, game one.
And again, that's sometimes that struggle that we see with that new, you know, with the rules with that serve, when you really are forced to make that contact that low. Sometimes, and if you don't get underneath that ball to lift.
Jansen talking to herself. Certainly Lea, a great pickleball player. One thing sometimes she does struggle with is the emotional side of the game. She can get a little down on herself, start talking to herself, and feed into a run for her opponents.
Yeah, so talking to yourself is okay, Jim. It's when you start answering yourself is when you have to start getting a little more concerned.
Christian up 4-3 now.
Wow, that is just...
We need someone big. A rapper? No, this person needs more of a saint kind of vibe. Dude, I got it. Super Bowl MVP. Won't be a breeze to get him. but we should go for it.
I wouldn't settle for less.
So you think you make it on the Pro Tour?
Pro Tour? Going pro is in my blood, George.
Well, making pros is what we do.
Well, let's do this then.
With a little bit of a run here to take a 5-3 lead in game one. Jansen took a quick timeout, smart timeout. Christian keeping the pressure on. Some really good ground strokes, really good form. She's about 5'11", using her height to good advantage.
And get really nice getting low, that left knee almost touching the ground on that backhand. Great approach out in the middle, and then putting pressure out of way. Really nice way to do that.
7-3, and here's where we see, like I mentioned, Jansen can be can get a little frustrated. She's making comments about the ball.
And again, as we talked about, that inconsistent bounce, unfortunately, with that ball. When you get that ball low, it really stays low.
Well, all that may be true, but you don't want to get too frustrated and have it get to you, and you turn one bad bounce. Instead of it costing you one point, it costs you 4 points, because you spend the next 3 points complaining about it, and it gets in your head, and one mistake leads to another. Got to let it go and focus on the next point.
And right there, 2 quick errors by Kaitlyn, and just allowing Lea just to get right back into the game now. So right there you see where Kaitlyn's a little bit struggling when she is not taking the full ground strokes, when she's looking to soften that ball, get into the kitchen. She lifts a little too much underneath the that ball. And as a matter of fact, the path of her swing is just a little too long, and that's why that ball keeps staying up.
Well, it's interesting though to see her try to initiate cat and mouse with the chip.
Yeah.
The chips
no,
to the
it's exactly. I like the. That's exactly what I like. What I want her to do, but I'm actually just not able to execute it again, and that partly has to do with, you know, not having that same experience in the doubles game as she does in the singles for pickleball.
But you don't usually see that kind of move from players coming over from tennis. That's probably because she's played pickleball before, going back and forth from pickleball to tennis. But that cat and mouse game where you chip it to the opponent's backhand when they're at the net, something we bronze medal action from grandstand court. Kaitlyn Christian serving to Lea Jansen at 9-5. Jansen took a timeout that was probably appropriate as Christian had gone on a little run, but unfortunately she comes out of the timeout with an immediate serve return error and a game point for Christian at 10-5. Good return there from Jansen.
Good defense, reestablish the point, and force the unforced error by making your opponent hit one extra shot.
That was a nice play by Christian. Jansen had full control of that rally, just could not close the deal. And another game point number 2 here for Christian. That was close. No video replay here on grandstand court, unfortunately. That would have been a good one to take another look at. We don't have the best angle from where we are as announcers, but that looked close.
Wow, beautiful composure, playing that ball off the net, and a way to recognize that that line was just wide open there. Get that ball behind her opponent.
Game point number 3 for Kaitlyn Christian. And she closes the deal on that with a nice forehand passing shot. And Jansen stomps off in frustration.
The official ball of the PPA Tour.
Open on grandstand court with bronze medal action. We have women's singles going on right now. Kaitlyn Christian and Lea Jansen. Christian up a game and a point.
Lea, a little bit visibly frustrated, I think, with her game. And it's true, you had mentioned, you know, she has not played as much singles lately. Maybe she feels like she's a little bit rusty. But right now, just at some points, just a little bit of some mental breakdowns, but again, that can be easily overcome. Just find the composure, take a deep breath. Actually, it looked quite white to me from here, but
Game 2, Lea Jansen showing a little bit of frustration in the last point, complaining that there was a let serve that was not called.
now right there, I liked it how Lea came in one step into the court, got low, hit a nice approach shot, and then followed that shot in. Whereas right now, I think a little bit sometimes she's getting in trouble for herself is choosing the right ball to come in on. And again, if at any point you hesitate or you think you're not sure if you're going to move in on that shot, do not move in, because you'll probably get caught that one step behind and allow your opponent the opportunity to pass you.
Nice backhand passing shot from Lea. She changed paddles there at the last break. Now talking to the crowd and asking why she didn't change paddles earlier from hula to hula. I'm not sure what the difference is between the two paddles, but
I will say again, I mentioned it before, the carbon fiber paddles do change characteristics quite quickly. And if that paddle starts to, you know, break down, starts to feel that pull where it starts to delaminate, you really start to lose control. You get a ton more power. And that ball's over here somewhere, but all right, here we go.
As Yogi Berra said about baseball, 90% of the game is half mental. So I think that's true of pickleball too.
Yep. Unfortunately, he was not a good mathematician.
But he did come up with a lot of great sayings. Jansen trying to fight back, and that leads us to another Yogi Berra phrase of "it ain't over till it's over."
And Kaitlyn serving at 3-1, taking a little time to compose, get herself prepared. And right there, again, I feel like the ball is just not coming up for Lea. She's expecting that bounce to be a little bit higher. She's running through that ball, and then the ball just stays low, and she's mishitting it.
Jansen's certainly more effective at the net than she is from the baseline. So she's trying to sort of aggressively move forward into the serve return to help her get to the net even more quickly. But perhaps it's leading to a few serve return errors. Those are real killers. You know, you've got the advantage as the returning player in pickleball, and you don't want to be giving your opponent, your serving player, a freebie. Jansen trying to fire herself up. A few shots from the crowd of encouragement for Jansen.
They're getting some support here. Again, beautiful, beautiful full crowd.
Wow, that was a well-played point by Kaitlyn Christian. Every shot,
which is right on top, yeah.
Good pace, good position, good footwork, great knee bend. That excellent form from Kaitlyn Christian. How's that for a forehand? Kaitlyn Christian with a nice whippy forehand passing shot. Earns herself a 5-2 lead. we see again Lea Jansen with an unprintable comment about the ball. Not happy. 6-2.
And Lea has her little routine that she likes to do, kind of gives her focus, get her in the Zen mode.
Forehand from Kaitlyn Christian is slightly wide.
You know, that's something I tell a lot of my students as well sometimes, especially when it comes to serve or your turn. Always, you know, get to a position where you do and repeat the same motions, repeat the same mechanics every time. And when you repeat and you maintain that same pattern, you find yourself that you can be a lot more, you know, focused. Sorry, but it took me a long time to get that sentence out.
Jansen still trying to fire herself up here. Jansen serving at 2-6.
So Lea a little bit frustrated at herself, looking at her paddle quite often, trying to figure out how to correct her shots. She's got her targets where she wants to hit. She just can't.
Grandstand court with women's singles action, bronze medal match. Kaitlyn Christian and Lea Jansen. Jim Kloss. I'm here with Dave Furman. Kaitlyn Christian dominating this match, at least to this point. Lea Jansen showing some frustration, having quite the monologue with herself. Christian serving at 8-2, looking to close this out in 2 games.
And again, Lea definitely showing some visible frustration, both at the ball and in her play.
Jansen yelling, "It does not come up." I mean, she's expected a little bit higher bounce from the ball and didn't get it.
And quickly, here we are at match point, Jim.
So Kaitlyn Christian, look at her body language, very positive, hopping, upbeat, wanting to get to line. Jansen just frustrated, talking to herself. And
well, unfortunate, but almost a fitting end to this play.
That was appropriate.